Hello everybody and thanks for watching. So this is the last video in my brush series. So I did a low-end price tag brushes, I've done a Morphe, completely dedicated to Morphe, and a completely dedicated to Sigma because those are two of my most used brush brands. And today I'm doing the final video in the series, which is all of my high-end brushes. Now I will start by telling you guys that I have brushes that range from upwards of $100 each to, you know, just the more run-of-the-mill MAC price tag brushes. So I'm going to go through all the different ones that I have, tell you pros and cons, what I like the most, and then I'll give you my top 5 must-have brushes for my high-end price tag. So I want to quickly start by talking about Dose of Colors. They only launched their brush line this year, and these are still really new on the market. I only pulled one of the ones that I have, and I love this one, which is why I pulled it. This is the tapered blush brush. So first, I love these brushes because they're white handled, they have the rose gold, they're so classic looking just from here down. I love that. I also love that they're duo fiber, I also like that they're duo brushes. So they have like the white on the top with the color on the bottom. I love that. This blush brush is super movable, super soft, but it still holds its shape. Like, it's not one of those brushes that you bend and then you're like, oh, what happened? It comes right back to shape. It's gorgeous, works on the majority of cheeks. I use this sometimes for highlight, for blush, or for bronzer. It works for all three, and I love this. They have a very small line of brushes because, like I said, they're just starting, but this one is one of my favorites. Moving on from there, I want to talk about Anastasia brushes, and again, I've only pulled one. Anastasia, I think, has a very small line as well. I haven't really looked into it. I'm not really into Anastasia too much, Anastasia Beverly Hills, partially because she doesn't offer her pro discount to Canada, which really bothers me. You actually have to have an American driver's license, and I have an issue with that. So this is the one and only brush I have, and it's because it was sent to me. This is the A23, which is actually the highlight fan brush. It works really well for getting that really precise highlight. It blends beautifully, it's a good size, and it's one of my favorite brushes to use of all time. I love the way my highlight looks every time I use it. Now, I know that Urban Decay just launched a whole bunch of brushes, and I do not have them yet. They do also finally have a store in Vancouver, but again, they're still not offering their pro discount here. So until they're willing to do that, I'm kind of on like a no Urban Decay kick, which is really hard for me because I like Urban Decay as a brand, but I just cannot justify the fact that as a pro makeup artist, I can't get a pro discount, and other pro makeup artists can't get a pro discount. So anyway, all of that aside, we're not talking about Urban Decay today. I'm going to talk about the Kat Von D brushes. I do have quite a few of them, but this is the only one that I truly feel is really unique and different and really worth talking about. And this is the number 40. It's the concealer brush from her new line. I love this brush. It puts concealer exactly where you want it. It pats it beautifully into the skin. It's gorgeously shaped. I love this brush. I love it, I love it, I love it. If you haven't checked out the Kat Von D brush line yet, you really should, because this one is so good. So good. Now we're going to talk about Makeup Forever, and Makeup Forever makes some of the most beautiful brushes on the market. They are just visually stunning. They have gunmetal ferrules. They are wood handled. They are all this kind of black brown. They have like brown on the bottom, but only a little bit of it, and then it goes into these black tops. I wish it was white tops with black bottoms, but anyway. They're made with some of the softest hair I've ever had, and these three are my favorite. The 152 Wavy, this is the perfect blush brush. I love that it puts blush kind of in that perfect circular motion, and then you can really blend it. It also works really well for contouring and bronzing. I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so soft. So soft. Then this one is the 150 Wavy brush, and this one is great for blush, contour, and highlight. It's smaller than most angled brushes that you've seen. I wish I had another one sitting right in front of me. It's like another high-end one. This is a normal sized angled blush brush, and this is the Makeup Forever one. So you can see it is quite a bit smaller, but I like that about it because it allows you to do more things with it, which makes it really beneficial. And then this is the 242 from Makeup Forever, and this is their blender brush. I love this. You can see it just blends beautifully. It doesn't get all flat and yucky. It just really allows you to work the tip and blend. Do you see that? I love this brush. Love it, love it, love it. So now we're going to talk about MAC, and then we're going to talk about the most expensive brand that I own. So MAC brushes, I do not lack in MAC brushes. I have so many brushes from MAC, but I only wanted to pull the ones that I can't imagine living without. So the first two, without a doubt, are these two. It's the MAC Oval 6 and the Oval 3. So the Oval 3 I obviously use for foundation. It's super, super well packed is the only way I can explain it. Same with the Oval 6. You can see it doesn't have a lot of movement. It does a great job of blending out foundation and concealer. I absolutely love these. I also love that they improved the handles of them. I knew that there was an issue a long time ago with them snapping, but they've improved the handles of these and I have not had any issues with mine. They work really well. They blend really well. They get kind of abused and they're still in really great shape. So that's the Oval 6 and the Oval 3. Those are two amazing brushes. A limited edition brush, and they don't make anything like this in their regular line, but I think it is still available. So if you're looking for a great brush, this is one I recommend. This is the 125 SE. This came from the Vibe Tribe collection. It's duo, so it's like black on one side, white on the other. It's so soft, but I love this for bronzer and for contour. You put it on this way, you blend it out this way. This is everybody's dream brush. I love this. If you can get your hands on this, I highly recommend that you do, because it's one of the best brushes MAC has ever made, and I wish they would bring it out in the full line because it's so good. So good. This is an older MAC brush, the 163. It's a completely flat contour brush. If you like a harsh contour, which I don't, but I do use this a lot for work, this is your guy. You can really just kind of fill in those areas. It really is quite small, so it works really well to get into the smaller spaces, and it's completely flat, so it puts color exactly where you want it. So that's the MAC 163. Now MAC's eye brushes are pretty run-of-the-mill. I think most people know about them, know of them, have their favorites. One of my favorites is the 239. Most of my MAC brushes have been so used that I don't even... 222, 217... Okay, so I have the 222, which is the smaller blender, which I really like for doing detailed blending in the crease. I really love this one, and I love that it's a white brush. You can tell I really like white brushes. The 217 has become one of my all-time favorite brushes. It's just a little bit fatter than the 222, as you can see, and a little bit shorter. I use this for packing on color. I'm using it for blending color. I love it. So that's the 217. It's just an everyday must-have brush for MAC. I also really like the 239. This is more for packing color onto the lid. And I used to use the 242 for that, but now I use the 239 more. But these are both great brushes. And then one really unique brush from MAC is this one, and this is the 265. And it's the little fan brush. This is great for putting on mascara. Whenever I'm doing work on people on a fashion show, this is the brush that I use, because it just does such a great job of painting lashes, and I can easily clean it and then paint the next person. So that's why I love this. It's the 265. It's such a good brush. Two newer brushes from MAC, and then we're moving into my favorite brand. The first one is the 170. This only launched a few months ago. This is their new foundation brush. This is a must-have, you guys. This is not a joke. Run out and buy this brush. Blends flawlessly. Everything looks good when this brush goes on. So smooth, so soft, not streaky. One of the best foundation brushes I've ever used, and it's the 170. And then the last one that I want to talk a little bit about was the 247. I did talk about this a bit in my low-end video because there is a drugstore kind of dupe for this video. If you're in Canada, there's a Quo brush. But this one is really special. It was built specifically for the Dazzle shadows, and it's something about the way that it picks them up. It's just really, really good. It gets a lot of color pigment. You can pat them on. This is a great brush. And it's the 247. So before I talk about this next brand, I want to be very clear that I understand how expensive this brand is, and I understand that not everyone can afford this price point, and I'm not trying to sell you guys on them, but I am trying to give you guys my honest opinion on how I feel about these specific brushes and how good they are. So Hakuhodo has been in the brush industry for a very long time. They make some of the most luxurious brushes I've ever had in my life. They use squirrel hair, they use goat hair. It's just really wonderful quality. Their ferrules, especially on their limited ones, are 24 karat gold. This brush was actually given to me as a gift by my best friend Jessica, who has not been on this channel in forever, so I really need to get her to come over and visit. But I've had this brush now, I think it's been 3 years. Has it been 3 years? Might even be 4 years. And it is, I think it's been 3 years. It is still like brand new. Okay, it still looks brand new. It still feels soft as the day I got it. And it's been used a ton. A ton. So this is the blush brush, and I can't remember if this is the Tulip one or not, but I know it's the blush brush. It works beautifully to get color on the cheeks. It blends seamlessly. Like, I can't even explain to you guys how good this brush is. So good. Then there is this one, which is the Hakuhodo J5521. These were their pro brushes, so they're black handled, silver ferrule, and they're this gorgeous white hair. So soft. I love this one for highlight. I like a big highlight, so this is my friend. I like this for highlight. I also like it for sweeping powder under my eyes. I find it works really well for that. And then I have 2 eye brushes, and these are probably my most used eye blending brushes. The J5523 and the J5522. They are only a slight bit different, as you can see. One's a little bit taller and one's a little bit more flat, more fat around the sides. I love both of these for blending. They blend everything seamlessly. They're such good brushes. And I know they're expensive, but honestly, they're so good. And then last year, Sephora did a collection with Hakuhodo. So this one was the Hakuhodo Sephora Pro. I think this was the highlighting brush. They had red handles and black ferrules, and I don't find the brushes in these, the brush hairs in this one, to be as soft as the brushes that actually are just Hakuhodo brand, but also the price tag of this was much less. So this is really good for highlight, contour, blush, all of that good stuff. It's a really great brush, really well quality. I love Hakuhodo brushes. So let's talk about my top 5, because there are a lot of them. This was not easy. I cheated. So my top 2 for concealer are the MAC Oval 3 and the Kat Von D number 40. These are both great concealer brushes. They work really well. They blend really well. They do a good job of keeping the product on your face, which is really important for me. I hate applying concealer and then I go to blend it with a brush and it blends it all away, especially with my dark eye circles. I need a brush that's going to keep concealer in place, and these do just that. Really good brushes. Then we have 2 for foundation, the MAC Oval 6 and the MAC 170. MAC cleared the foundation aisle today. These are both great brushes. This one's newer to the market, but it's so good. If you have not tried this brush yet, you need to go pick it up. It just does such a great job of blending. And this is my longtime favorite. I couldn't leave this guy out. It's so good. Then for blush, of course, I had to pick my Hakuhodo. This is the S110. It's so soft. If you're gonna ever invest in something that you want to last you a really long time and you're somebody who wears makeup a lot, I highly recommend Hakuhodo brushes, but specifically this one, just because it's just so good. It's so good. I can't, it's so good. This is probably my all-time favorite brush out of my whole collection. So next is the Anastasia A23. I don't think anything in the world puts on highlight quite like this brush. I just love how it sits that shape of your face. I love how it blends. I think it's just a great addition to my collection. This is such a good brush. And then lastly, to round out my top 5, I needed blending brushes and I couldn't pick, so I picked 2. The Makeup Forever 242 and the Hakuhodo J5522. They're both very similar in shape and size. You can see I find the Hakuhodo one to be a little bit softer, just a little bit softer, but it depends on the kind of blend you want. This gives me that really beautiful blurred out blend. This blends the color that's there really well. So I love both of them. All in all, I am done. Those were all of my top favorite high-end brushes. I'm done my brush series. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it. If you have any brush questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you have video suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. I'm pretty, do I make you feel like cheating? I'm like, no, not really, cause I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. She walks like a model. She grants my wishes like a genie in a bottle.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause I'm the wizard of love.